Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we'll return with round 12 of season 2 of the F1 24 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the British Grand Prix and we have big news as we head into the weekend. Ayumu Iwasa, he is out of the car. He is out of the team. We have had enough of him. He hasn't scored any points so far this year and really just has not been delivering. Yes, I know he is still only the number 2 driver within the organisation, but yeah, to still be that far behind the rest of the field every single race, I've had enough of it, and we have gone in and we have hired a new second driver for the rest of the season. Now, we did have some interesting options that we could have picked. We could have had Valtteri Bottas. He seemed quite interested. I did try and go for Alex Albon as well, but he wasn't really interested in joining the team. So we have ended up signing Sergio Perez. Obviously, he gets a lot of stick in real life at the moment. He's actually not doing that badly against Max Verstappen in the championship fight so far this year. He's only 25 points behind his teammate, so kind of a very different story to what we've seen from the Mexican over in the driver career mode series. But yeah, with all the upgrades we've got in the team, he's 97 rated inside F1 24 as well. So he's now currently rated the same as Max Verstappen inside this game as well. Now, annoyingly, I can't see who's taken his seat over at Red Bull, I don't believe. Oh no, so Iwasa's gone to Red Bull for some reason, which is a little bit stupid. So Red Bull are going to have their work cut out throughout the rest of the season as well. But championship-wise, Hamilton still leads the way by 7 points over Charles Leclerc. Verstappen in P3 ahead of Lando Norris. I guess our goal by the end of the year is to try and see if we can beat Checo. But yeah, it's an interesting move. I was hoping we might get a little bit more of a shake-up up and down the grid as well. But yeah, we are back though this weekend, ready for our home GP. Get yourself subscribed. Let's see how we get on.
A one-time airfield fully owned by cars in this era. One of the finest ribbons of racetrack anywhere on Earth. It's high speed, it's dramatic, it's Silverstone.
Well, I'm hoping then, with the Mexican alongside me within the team, we're going to get a few more hat sales before the end of the year, coming out of North America. Yeah, obviously Sergio Perez still brings a lot of money into Red Bull IRL, so I'm hoping he's going to be able to do the same for us. And you know, we are going to be holding him to much higher regard than we were with Iwasa. You know, he should definitely be able to get some points on the board before the end of the year as well. Like I said, obviously we've got a huge wave of upgrades as well, constantly going on the car now. So we are making progress back up the order, which is really good to see. This track as well should be a good one for us. We now, on paper, have the strongest engine on the grid. So around Silverstone, there's a very power-hungry circuit. Hopefully that's going to play into our hand. There's Oscar Piastri, 25.5. You'd expect this to be another good track for McLaren after a bit of an uptick of form recently, or just running a little bit wide there down the end of the back straight. Hopefully we're going to be able to get a good benchmark on the board, as Perez at the moment, I mean, we'll allow him to kind of get used to the car this weekend, but he's only down in P21. We only go P17 though, so not a particularly better run by myself either. Admittedly, after the first runs, Perez was only about half a second away from me. Iwasa, it was normally a good weekend if he got within 1 second. So as we start our final lap then, we have to put it all on the line here. We've got to try and get one good last-ditch run in. Of course, normally we've been pretty consistent between about P12 and P16 in recent times. Currently, yeah, we're only down in P20, and I want to deliver a good, you know, weekend for the home crowd as well. I'm sure everybody will be cheering on Lewis Hamilton. I'm sure would love to take yet another win here at Silverstone. Of course, World Championship leader. All eyes on him and Charles Leclerc at the moment, as Verstappen and Red Bull really are just starting to fall apart there as well. Bottas just a little bit closer to the racing line than I'd like there. A bit like Perez and Lewis last weekend at Zandvoort. They just kind of parked a little bit awkwardly. But we are 3.5 tenths up at the moment then, as we make our way down the old start-finish straight. Trying to not use as much of our battery. Just make sure we save a little bit for a slingshot down in towards the final section of the circuit as well. They've just got to try and keep it clean and tidy through here. We definitely left a bit of time on the table last time through. Get on that battery nice and early there, and you can see we'll carry that speed off of the corner. 4.5 tenths up at the moment. Perez, I think, is going to line up at the rear of the field, which is a bit of a shame for our teammate, but as we tip the car through, just nicked the grass on the inside, didn't cost us too much. Just a horrible chicane now to navigate, so just struggling with the balance. Struggling to get everything out of this car though. We get the power down nicely on the exit, 4.5 tenths up. We go P14. Pretty much exactly where we would expect ourselves to qualify. Well, first of all, McLaren then with a front row lockout as Hamilton struggles here at Silverstone. Lando Norris, though, doesn't take pole. It is Oscar Piastri there who gets that car onto P1. Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin all look very similarly paced. Fantastic effort by Alex Albon. What I want to know, how did Iwasa suddenly now get less than 200ths away from Max Verstappen? What on earth is that about? Suddenly, the Japanese driver has found something extra. We end up going near enough a second quicker than Perez. I think his second run, unfortunately, he had to abandon there. Why, whenever I have a teammate in this game, are they absolutely shocking?
The home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Albon, Tsunoda, Gasly, Verstappen, Iwasa, Stroll, Mr. Monaco, Ocon, Bottas, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Teo Porcher, Joe, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? We welcome to the commentary box Anthony Davidson. I'm Alex Jakes. We're both looking forward to a really intriguing race today. It feels like an obvious question, but I think everyone wants to know, at this stage, are you nervous or excited?
Probably at the start of a race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation, and you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong, and how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Okay, a points finish might be difficult today, but just give it your best shot.
Yeah, I reckon points at home would be quite nice. We had a bit of a torrid time out here last season, if I remember correctly. So I think if we could get inside the top 10 here, even if it is just 9th or 10th, a couple of points, keep the ball rolling, would be really, really useful there. And also, I want to beat Iwasa, because suddenly now he's been given the best car on the grid for getting dropped. How that works, I don't really know. It's 5 red lights, though, here on the grid for the British Grand Prix. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go then. Not up to my best getaway in the world. Esteban Ocon will say thank you very much down towards turn 1. But let's just see how tidy we keep it there. Ricciardo trying to look around the outside there as Iwasa. Oh, we're going to try and send it on him immediately. Power play against our former teammate Ayumu. And we will move up then into P13 of the GP there. Maybe we're still 3 wide as we try and put the power down on the exit of the corner there. Chop across Esteban Ocon ever so slightly as Gasly and Stroll just in front. Max Verstappen at the moment. Yeah, terrible qualifying session for him. Stuck behind Tsunoda and Alex Albon. So, yeah, really not the weekend he would want so far. Especially, you know, when he wants to try and keep Lewis and Leclerc pretty close in the championship. You know, his brutal consistency has seen him hang on to P3 so far, as Russell now will move up into P2, side by side through the old turn 1. When has that ever ended badly for anybody? Look at the Constantina and up. There's Stroll there, struggling just a little bit, so we'll try and go around the outside. So we've made good progress then on lap 1. As Tsunoda and Albon trying to dispute P8 still. Oh, a little bit wide there, a little bit ragged on the exit. But yeah, we made up a couple of spots. We can still see the points right there as everybody fanning out down the back straight. I think that's both Ferraris going side by side a little bit further up. As Leclerc desperate to try and make a move on his teammate. I mean, how cool would it be if we saw Hamilton go to Ferrari in this game after they've battled for a world title this season? Norris leads at the end of lap 1. It's a British 1-2.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Let's see if we can get a run on Gasly through turn 1 and turn 2. We'll have the inside line ready for turn 3. Just about squeeze him out there, and there we go. 3 places gained early on. Not bad after what initially wasn't a good getaway. Well, admittedly, it hasn't taken long, but I already feel like we're just starting to hang on with the likes of Albon and Tsunoda just in front. Verstappen, I think, is trying to be patient. It served him well all season up to this point. You know, it's a very different Max we've had so far in this game, where he's kind of, you know, been a lot more patient, a lot more willing to wait and kind of let the results come to him in that car. This weekend, though, I can't help but feel that's not going to be the case. Maybe losing Perez as a teammate as well just creates a little bit more instability. I can only assume, yeah, we kind of blindsided Red Bull with the news, and they kind of panicked to get another driver into that car. But admittedly, I mean, you've got Tsunoda and Ricciardo waiting in the wings. Why wouldn't you just give one of them a shot in your top car this weekend, especially when someone's taken Perez off your hands? You know, the IRL, I think Red Bull would probably see as a bit of a blessing right now. But yeah, as we navigate our way, though, down through this middle sector, I mean, yeah, we're hanging on with these guys. Problem is, Alex Albon in that Williams is still incredibly quick inside this game, so it makes things a little bit more difficult. That makes life a bit easier. Tsunoda with a huge lockup down the end of the back straight. Lucky that we're able to sneak through.
Good job, nice overtake.
And I think, yeah, if we can just hang on to Verstappen's coattails. I've done it a couple of times before on this game. Just hang on to Verstappen. Normally, good things can end up coming from it. You immediately see, though, Verstappen. Now Tsunoda's out of the way. Feels like he can get past Albon and maybe get away from him really quick. So we need to try and keep up with him. So we've got yellows out. Someone's got issues. I think that might be a car behind us. I think that might be the other Williams of Logan Sargent. So one Williams falling out of the Grand Prix. The other one getting overtaken here. I did wonder whether that'd be a car in front.
Information on Sargent. They're retiring from the race.
Doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car for it, though. That could spice things up early on. Oh, well, Verstappen getting around Albon has not worked out well for us.
6.4 seconds.
Don't know how well Perez is able to keep up with the back of the group, but yeah, annoyingly, those two kind of dragging each other along now. And we might be about to fall. I think we have fallen out of the DRS range, so, I mean, we're in that final points-paying position at the moment. I don't know whether Albon's going to be able to fight with Max down the straight. Annoyingly, obviously, you just can't keep close enough to him through the corners, and that's given the Dutchman the advantage. But here comes Yuki, straight back past me after his mistake early on. Oh, I thought about trying to switch him down in towards the love field. You can just see there the Japanese driver parking it on the apexes of corners. I guess at least Perez is keeping up with that back market gaggle. So here we go. I think we're seeing Gasly potentially have a look as well down the inside of the old turn 1. Not there, sir. On a raw pace alone, I think Yuki is just that little bit quicker than me at the moment. So we've got more yellows out. I think we've had a spinner behind. I think that might be Esteban Ocon that's gone round. And again, we're not going to see a safety car or anything for it. He gets going again pretty quickly, so I think he must have just dropped it off of the corner. But yeah, Tsunoda's definitely just a little bit quicker than me at the moment, I think, in terms of raw pace. So with Albon and Verstappen still fighting in front, I'm kind of just going to let him drag us along a little bit there. As you can see, the former Red Bull duo wheel to wheel. Albon will make it through. Here comes Lance Stroll on me. This was not what I needed. So we'll really, really pinch him in towards the apex there. I just can't let Tsunoda get away either. But yeah, Silverstone's a bit of a weird one in this game. You've kind of just got to let it all happen. It doesn't work like a real Grand Prix. Oh, we've got more yellows. What's going on now? Ocon. Esteban Ocon, after his spin last lap, looks to be breaking down then. And could be out of this Grand Prix. I'm an and about whether it's going to be worth trying to pit a little bit early here. Well, our second mechanical failure of the day. That's come out at a really, really awkward time. So here we go. Stroll again. Trying to look round me. I think, yeah, it's going to be worth a gamble slightly early into the pit lane here. But Ocon now, our second casualty of the day. Yeah, team already starting to talk about the strategy, so I reckon we might come in the end of next lap. Well, I'm going to try and make sure I'm ahead of Tsunoda before I dive down to the pit lane, but we are going to box pit confirm with the team.
This lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Could have potentially done with a little bit more battery for when we make our way back out onto the circuit, but a power move there down the inside of Tsunoda. Whoa, hello. Is he going to immediately come straight back at me? Getting very, very aggressive there. A lot of time can be won or lost on pit lane entry in this game. And luckily that time around we won't lose too much either there, as I want to try and see if we can get close to Verstappen and Albon again. Once obviously we've dived through, so yeah, you can see the team right down the far end ready to go whenever we are. But yeah, I think if we can try and get close to them, that could work out really nicely for us. We are the first car into the pit lane here, so it is a bit of an early box.
Go, go, go! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
Silverstone, though, is never the worst track in the world in terms of tyre wear, so shouldn't be much of a concern. Alright, let's just try and push this lap and make sure that we don't get overcut. There we go, a load more cars into the pit lane then, just one lap later. So let's wait and see as to whether we're going to get the undercut. I've been watching the gap to Perez. It had come down a little bit that lap, despite the fact our teammate, of course, had some DRS as well. Not by enough, though, that I think if Albon's pit now, we probably won't get a look in. Tsunoda is still going to be our big rival.
15.9 seconds.
There is Tsunoda. Oh, we haven't even got the jump on him, so that was pretty worthless. So he's going to have cold tyres, though, out of the pit lane, so he might be able to go clean around him. Down the inside for turn 4. Oh, just be careful not to under-rotate the car through. We'll have the DRS as well, so maybe we can break him out of the range and maybe leave him and the guys behind fighting.
Nice move. Good job.
Looks like Albon as well might just have lost the gap to Verstappen, so maybe we could hunt down the Williams. Like I said, though, I just want a point. Oh, here we go. Tsunoda again flies straight back past me here, so I think we're going to have to work really strategically together. We want to try and get to Albon by the end. Don't know whether... Yeah, I don't know whether Yuki was quicker than Alex, but I think now he's immediately got himself back in the range of Verstappen as well, so nothing is particularly working for us today. So that is not the line we needed through the final couple of corners there. Don't lose the range to Yuki.
13.7 seconds.
I think we're just about staying there, as here we go. More cars heading out the pit lane, so the overcut's actually been the way to go. Stroll now seems to have got round me as well. And we do similar to what we did to Yuki just a lap prior. Not quite on the entry. Oh, this is just not working for us at the moment. Whatever we try and do doesn't seem to be the right way to go about things. So now we're going to be under pressure from Gasly as well. We've still got Iwasa waiting a little bit further back in that Red Bull. Hopefully not going to have to see him. There we go, Lance Stroll now. Trying to have a look past Yuki Tsunoda as well. Maybe the Aston Martin can drag us all a bit more towards the end of the race. They're going to go side by side down the end of the back straight. So again, we are just desperately trying to keep up. And what a ballsy little move that is by Lance Stroll. Clean around the outside there as Tsunoda had the confidence. He has admittedly got a bit of a quicker car, but he's made it work. Up at the front, one of those McLarens has broken free. I think it's Lando, but I couldn't tell you for sure. And after that win at Austria last weekend, if it is him, or maybe he's not out of the title fight yet. Oh, I think we're going to see a real cat and mouse game between Stroll and Tsunoda towards the end of the afternoon then. They both just seem to have just about enough straight line speed to get alongside each other. Stroll, though, once again has the confidence clean around the outside. Leclerc, new fastest lap. Who knows how useful bonus points could be come the end of the season. But, yeah, I mean, we've just got to make sure we're in a position where we can fight for that P10 by the end. At the moment, I'm happy just to sit and wait here. Oh, Russell just taking that fastest lap point back away from Charles Leclerc. So I think they are the ones battling in P2 and P3 right now. Hamilton still stuck a little bit further back. If it is Oscar Piastri that's dropped back slightly, I do feel sorry for him. From pole position to what looks like he's not even going to be able to get a podium this afternoon. But yeah, I mean, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, even Aston Martin, but oddly not Red Bull, seem to all be kind of scrapping it out for the big points at the moment. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This season, yeah, could be an absolute banger right the way to the end. We're just watching Stroll and Tsunoda still duke it out. Just starting to get a little bit nervous, though, a little bit apprehensive. When do we start going for the moves? When do I try and get between them and kind of become that P10 driver's biggest threat? The problem we've still got, yeah, is unless Tsunoda and Stroll do exactly this, I can't really get close enough where I can get the run on one of them and kind of end up between them here. They've just still both I mean, it's a great battle to watch on between these two. And it's still just too much for us to really get involved with. And I don't want to use up all my battery, because then I kind of feel, well, if we get there, then we'll just immediately lose it. We are on older rubber than everybody else. I can't forget that either. But, yeah, the pace is ramping up towards the end. We've just set 2 new personal bests back-to-back. So I think everybody now, almost a bit like a Formula E race, everyone's kind of just working out where they're at and how they're going to start capitalising. Well, no idea what seems to be going on now. Gasly's clearly made a mistake and fallen back into the clutches of Iwasa. Perez has definitely made an error as well, because he's dropped way behind kind of the backmarker group that has the Saubers that he was fighting with. So I think, yeah, it's the kind of pace ramping up towards the end. Few little errors coming in by some drivers, but I just cannot get closer to Yuki and Lance at the moment. They're just carrying each other along beautifully. And we're not losing any range to them. We're still staying inside that DRS. But boy, is it frustrating. Oh no, this lap, we might just lose it. We might just lose it. Stroll and Tsunoda just pushing on a little bit more there. As again, you can see how hard we're pushing. Just trying to get right onto the limit of where the FIA will allow us to go. Oh, that might be the difference maker though. Little mistake through the final couple of corners. Stroll now 1.2 seconds up. We're going to keep using the battery down towards 1 just to give ourselves any kind of hope. But I think we're going to lose that range then. So frustrating towards the end of the race. But ultimately, until we get more of those upgrades on the car, we just haven't got enough right now. Well, it's always quite impressive just how much time you lose when you drop out the DRS range on a circuit like this, especially when you feel like you're barely hanging on to the car in front. And now, well, of course we were going to end up battling with our old teammate Ayumu Iwasa here as we round our way to start the last lap of the British Grand Prix there. I mean, that Red Bull is a much quicker car than our own. I'm sure we'll see him score points in that thing before the end of the year. But whether the Red Bull will keep him signed ready for next season is a very different question. We'll try and force him defensive though. We'll make him work for it. Or not, apparently. It's chronic understeer down in towards the final couple of corners. But it's been a tough weekend. It's my first race back on F124 in nearly a week as well, just because I've spent a little bit of time away, so I feel definitely a little bit rusty. But we'll obviously make sure that we get back into it a whole lot more there. But Iwasa now just in front. Not going to be points for him today unless Stroll and Tsunoda come to blows. And even then, hopefully, I can try and get back around him. I mean, surely if those two battle in real life up in front, they would end up probably making contact if it was for the final points-paying position. But yeah, I believe still Lando Norris then at the front of the order has absolutely dominated this one today. And a win at home, back-to-back victories as well. Starting just to shape up quite nicely for McLaren. Hamilton again struggling as Leclerc now I think might only just re-inherit the World Championship lead, depending on where they all finish up. But I need to try and save a little bit of battery if we want to get the run down the back straight on Ayumu one final time then, nice and tidy. This is normally the part of the track where we gain a little bit of time over our rivals. Just got that little bit more confidence. So we navigate our way through Maggots and Beckett's there, not getting the run though off the corner. That might be the difference maker for us. Is it Lando Norris is going to take the win? Yes, it is. Norris back on top for McLaren. Iwasa, you can see, saving battery right to the very end there. So we're going to send it to the inside of him. He's just about going to be able to hang on to it. So we are going to be wheel to wheel in towards the final couple of corners. Iwasa backs out. Thank you very much. Through the final couple of corners we're going to go. It's P12 in the end at home. Another disappointing British Grand Prix.
What a way to head to victory! Lando Norris takes the win!
And it's always good to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
Well, Hamilton then must have made a decisive move on the last lap ahead of Oscar Piastri, because he ends up finishing directly behind Leclerc yet again. But let's not steal the limelight away. Lando Norris, a British Grand Prix win there. 2 Brits on the podium as well, with Charles Leclerc in P3. Hamilton beats out Sainz, and Oscar Piastri gutted for him from pole position to 6th come the checkered flag. Alonso, Albon, Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll rounding out your top 10 there. How on earth Albon was still able to beat Max, I will never quite understand in the end. We end up locked into battle with Ayumu Oasa come the checkered flag, I think for probably the first time this season, but we do claim the result over him there as Perez. Yeah, not too sure what happened to our new teammate. 55 seconds off the win. It's not much better than Ayumu would have done, which is a little bit of a shame there as well. It does mean championship-wise, though, the gap at the top cut down to just 4 points there, but a new challenger approaching. Lando Norris up at a P3, just 32 points back. Yeah, no points for us, though, means we still sit in P10 overall in the championship. Does that result, though, mean Ayumu's jumped up? Yes, it does. He's now ahead of Zhou Guanyu, based on countback so far this year, with still Bottas, Pourchaire, Sargent, him and Zhou yet to get out of the starting blocks. Ferrari 8 points ahead of Mercedes in the constructors. McLaren, though, could still be a threat to that by the end of the year as well. There is Aston Martin now with a 99-point lead over 212 Motorsports as well. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix.